what do you need to do as well. So, like my story, studied software engineering, and while in college, always had a goal to work in a big tech company. I love tech. I have so passionate about tech. There's so many things you can do with tech. While in Nigeria, I remember when my dad in Nigeria was the first one to buy a mobile phone, and I was so fascinated with being able to, communicate with people, even if you can't see them, even if they're not in your state. And I just really gravitate towards how technology can make lives better, can make us become things better, and it can improve our life. So that's how I got into tech. And like I said, like I just love tech. And my passion is to use tech to better the lives of those people around me. And because of this love for tech, I've always wanted to study something related to tech. It started as studying electrical engineering from Audi Polytechnic, where I got my uh, associate or national diploma. Then I wanted an environment where I could explore and actually put my skills to use. Then I had the opportunity to come to the USA, where I studied software engineering. While studying software engineering, I had, lots of friends who were just all about, getting money, getting a job, that just, making money in school and all that. But my passion was not just making money, but actually, what skill can I do? What skill can I learn that will make me very valuable in the future?
Origami.
That passion made me work jobs on campus that, kind of made me learn new skills. I started as a project manager for the IT department, and I was the only student there. I was able to, create project charters, work on, Kanban technology, and, work on project charters, communicate with the customers, identify the project need, look at the delivery date, and actually follow up with the delivery. Then after doing that, I decided that, you know what, I'm going to start applying for internships, and I'm going to be doing this. Then applied for an internship as a program manager, which I did, and I wanted to learn another skills as well, which is product management. So from the all management space, as a project manager, I have skills. I learned some valuable skills from that. As a product manager, I also learned a lot of valuable skills. And now as a program manager, most of those skills I've been learning, I'm merging it with my current learning. So that's a little bit about me. So to get an internship, the first thing you need to do is, what are your goals? What are you passionate about? Like, before we even talk about internship, the idea of an internship is that it's a learning period where you are mentored by someone, you learn some valuable skills to perform a task. It could be that, maybe the internship is like in any company, or the internship is with someone where you can learn valuable skills. So with that, just like a high level definition of, what an internship is, like, what really helped me was that before I actually thought about internship, I wanted to know, what skills do I need to have before I get an internship as a dash in a company. Why? So then I started going through Google, going through using various resources. I wanted to have an internship as a program manager, and I was like, what skills do I need to have as a program manager for me to get an internship? And I there were lots of resources that I leveraged to get that information from. After I did that, Emmanuel is previous bit how he has networked with lots of people on LinkedIn. You should leverage LinkedIn. You should click on people who you want to network with. Because if you know the skills that your proposed or your internship, your future internship requires, look for people who are already doing that job, and look for the people who are in that company Let's say an example, I wanted to always work for Microsoft. Ever since I saw the Windows 95 computer in my high school, in my secondary school, we only had three. I just fascinated about it and then wanted to work at Microsoft. So when I came to the States, I was like, you know what? I'm going to work at Microsoft. I want to be a program manager. First of all, I researched on the skills. Then I looked for people who were a program manager, who were in that company, which is Microsoft, and had like a 15 minutes discussion with them where I could ask them what they did, what what do they love about their job. So these are you should leverage networking. So now you know all those skills that you need to get for as need to learn as an intern or need to have to get an internship. You know the company you want to get. It could be Microsoft, it could be Google, it could be Facebook, it could be Amazon, it could be any other company. That it doesn't have to be this big tech company. It could be other company that you want to learn a specific skill from that gives you an opportunity to get into a bigger company. So now you know those skills, you know the company, you network, you're reaching out to people on online and all that. The next step is what does you need to start applying. Most of all these companies have like a website where you could go in, click on it, upload your resume, select the job you want, and exactly apply for. So your resume, often at times we call it resume or we call it CV in I think in most of the in British call it CV. It's either called CV or resume. Most people would see your CV or resume and they're like, oh, I just need to tell me what I know. I just need to write what I know how to do. It could be maybe for instance, Paul in this case knows HTML or CSS, and it tells me in his resume, I know one of my skills is HTML. I know how to use HTML or CSS. If I was going through your resume and I see that, I'm like, okay, so you know how to use HTML or CSS. Then what? What is the impact of of the skill you have? Like another way to rephrase that is that, well, in my last job, I was able to use HTML and CSS to uh, create a front-facing application that help our customers book time faster for an appointment, and that increased sales by X%. So this example I just gave right now, you're not just saying what you know how to do, but you're telling me that you used your skill. The impact was that you save your business or where you were working at by X number of percent. So that is kind of like what I like to see in resume. That's what most of the big tech companies or even companies love to see in resume. Don't just tell me your skill. Tell me what you've done with your skill and what impact has your skill had. It could be maybe not in your job. It could be maybe just a personal project. Yeah, we were able to make an app for a top hobby shop in my community, and and we're able to so things like that. Be personable in your resume. Be short, be brief, be concise. But tell me your skills, what you did, and the business impact. So that's for your resume or CV. The next one, some of the job application requires um, cover letter. This is where you want to highlight your achievement. Don't lots of people think of humility that you don't want to brag too much for what you know how to do. I call it a humble brag. Like be proud of what you know how to do. In your cover letter, you can highlight all your achievement. Maybe in your class you were like the top in X amount of subjects, or you graduated by this, you did some volunteer or extracurricular activities that moved the needle forward. That you didn't just go to school, but you kind of were social. You did some extracurricular activity. You attended conferences like this where you learned and you network with people, and and I like your skills. Build on the impact, just like your resume. You give it like a snapshot of the impact of your skills and what you've done. In your cover letter, you're expanding it, you're making it more, you're giving the reader, the person who's looking at your resume, the context of what you have done. So this is the application. When you apply for an internship, you apply for one internship. That doesn't mean you can get the internship. Even when I was applying for internship at Microsoft, I applied. In, I, s- I did like over 50 applications in other companies. I applied at Google. I applied at this. It was Microsoft that I was able to go to. Just because you apply at a company and they don't respond to you, that doesn't mean that you were not qualified. Maybe you were not a good fit for the team at that time, or maybe they were looking for someone else. So I kind of I like to think of application as, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Apply as much as you can, but have a focus on which kind of sector, what tech companies do you want, and kind of go on from there. Now you've applied. Another another pain point, or another like concern that we had a lot of people reaching out to me tell me is that, oh yes, I saw a job that requires X and Y Z kind of skill, but I don't know how to do that skill. Let that limitation don't let that limitation stop you from applying. Just because you don't know how to do a particular skill doesn't mean that you can't learn that skill. Apply. Don't wait. If you wait to know all the skills you want to learn before you apply, you won't be able to do that. Are you getting it? One thing I love about Microsoft is that we don't want a know-it-all. I don't want you to tell me that, oh, you know how to use machine learning, you know JavaScript, you know Python, you know X and Y, or like some algorithm and all that. But do you have that grit? Do you have that growth mindset to learn all those things? Aside from saying that, you should have some basic skills that you should need to learn, and that you will know that as you search for jobs, as you look at the requirements. They don't wait for you to have all the skills before you send or apply for a job. So I've just talked about what you need to do before your internship. Now, during your internship, let's say it has been amazing, you applied for a job and you got your internship, or you got an internship offer. Don't stop there. Before you even start your internship, network with your managers or your future manager. Tell them that, what can I do to kind of prepare for this internship and all that. During your internship, as you start your internship, make your goal and intention clear. Don't be shy. Don't keep your goals to yourself. Tell your manager that, do you ask yourself, do you want to turn this internship to a full-time job? If yes, be clear about your intentions to your manager or to your supervisor. Then they know that, oh yes, Paul is not just applying for this internship to go through because he wants to get a job. And because of that fire in it, because of that passion in it, I'm sure he's going to want lots of responsibilities. He's going to learn to ask questions. He's going to take notes. He's going to be very effective during his internship. During your internship, meet as many people as you can. I don't know, like most of your field in the software, space. We could be, if you're coding, you could fall into the trap of just they give you a task and you just code and you submit your code or you merge your code and you don't talk to people. Don't make that mistake. Network with people as you can within your company. Meet your managers, meet your skip manager, meet your co-workers, meet your colleagues, and have that conversation with them to kind of get a feel for the company, talk about their experience and how they got there. The other point is that always be professional. Be professional, be transparent. If if they give you a tax, you can't do it. Be upfront with them. Well, this tax you're giving me right now, I don't know how to go about it. What resources can I get, or what resources can I leverage to onboard and ramp up in this knowledge space so that I can actually complete this task? If they give you a task during your internship and you don't know how to do it, ask for help. Fail fast rather than fail later. You fail fast, you improve, you learn, and you kind of, because once someone puts you through that first step, nobody push you through again. And always continually research for how you can grow yourself technically and your skills. One thing I struggled with during my internship that I wish I did better was speaking up. Speaking, maybe during your internship you have like a board meeting with lots of managers, or you have like a team meeting. Sometimes because we don't know a lot of knowledge with the space or with the team, we don't know the architecture, we are shy to ask questions. When you don't know something, ask questions. What's the meaning of this? An example was that in my first during my first internship, the first meeting, they were like, "Oh yeah, so today we're gonna be looking at ICM issues." I was like, "ICM? I don't know what that is." I raised up my hand. I was like, "What is ICM?" Or they were like, "Oh, ICM is an incident management system in which we use to track, incidents regarding to our service." And I wrote that down. So I asked the question. I wrote that down. I'm not going to ask that question again because I know what ICM means. So like that, always ask questions. Then the other point is that during your internship, any skill you learn, write it down. Keep a journal, or we call journal, you can call it diary. Keep a journal, like, this week of my internship I learned this, I did this, and I did that. Always keep a journal because that will help you after your internship. Are you getting it? And the last point is always say thank you. If a colleague set up time to talk to you about, or to educate you or something, or help you with your task, always say thank you. Be very appreciative because thank you goes a long way, and if it makes your colleague even more receptive to talking to you or helping you out. So now, if before your internship, you've done everything. During your internship, you've done this place. You've made your goal and your intentions clear to your manager. You took notes. You asked questions. You were professional. You said thank you. After your internship, what do you do? Write a thank you note to your managers, because your managers they're the ones who really helped you, and the ones who had the trust in you to give you things in return. Write a thank you to your manager. Then the other point is that have a self of your experience and the skills you acquired. I know I do call it quiet time your internship. What did I learn? What was I not good at first? What is something I can improve on? Document all those things down. I work on improving those. If you were not good at maybe communicating, work on communicating. If you were not good at maybe responding to emails or responding to messages, work on that. So have that self reflection because that will help you in your future job or your next internship. The other point is that update your resume, because during your internship, you'll be in a journal, you'll be writing your experiences everywhere. Now, updating your resume, you just need to go back to, oh yeah, I can go back to my journal. I know I learned X and Y skills, then I'll update it. Because if you don't have that journal, as the internship period is always like 12 weeks. And if you don't have that journal, you don't keep track of your skills you've learned and your experiences. When you're updating your resume, you're like, okay, so what skill do I have? What do I need to do? It's so difficult because I mean you just learn a lot of things that you can keep track of sometimes. So update your resume after your internship. And the final thing is always keep in touch with your team folks. So you did your internship with a team in a company. The biggest mistake you can do is after that internship, you don't keep in contact with your manager or you don't keep in contact with your colleagues. Always keep in contact with them because your fellow teammates who you did an internship with may not be in that company. They may be in another company that you aspire to go to. So if you don't have that contact, to be difficult to network. For example, my internship at Microsoft, I kept in contact with my manager, and right now she's working at Google. I kept in contact with my other colleague. Right now, they are working at Amazon. So my network is not just within Microsoft right now. I have a network in Google, I have a network in Amazon because I kept in contact with my team folks. So it's very, very important. And finally, I think an advice I would give to everyone is that if there's anything that stands out from this conversation, is that never wait for you to acquire all the skills before you start applying for a job. Start today. Make your goals and intention clear to yourself and to everyone you meet. Because the more you tell people your goal, the more you tell people, remind yourself of your goal, the more you're on that path to actually becoming that person who is more improved. My dad used to tell me that, look at yourself. If you're 5 years old or you're 5 years into the future self comes to you right now, like it should be like your present self should be proud of what your future 5 years old self is. So don't just be myopic, don't be short sighted when it comes to career, when it comes to goal planning. Be long sighted. Have short term goals and have long term goals. And don't and in a nutshell, internship is not just shouldn't just be the topmost goal because we have the law of diminishing returns. When you get that, if getting an internship is the topmost goal and you get that internship, you kind of lose that motivation to actually do more. Let that internship that you're getting or your current internship be a stepping stone to a longer term goal. And as you do this, I know that you will be strengthened and you will do well in your career growth. So that's what I have for you today. I know we have like 9 minutes more, and then Emmanuel told me that there will be lots of questions. So I will open the floor for questions right now, and just see how it goes.
Wow, that was really exciting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that awesome section. So at this moment, if you have question, please kindly signify in the chat box. And also, just a question for you, Mr. Michael. Someone asked, can I still get an internship at the age of 36? What's your say concerning that?
So you can get an internship at any age. I was I, I feel don't make age a limitation for you. When any company is even looking at your resume, they don't even consider your age. They consider what skills do you have, what's the impact you've done, and what value do you add to the company. So that is more focused on rather than your age.
Great, awesome. So Awal, you can unmute yourself and ask your question, please. And if you have a question, please kindly type in the chat box so we can know.
Thank you very much, Michael, for the invitation. Thank you very much, Chief, for giving this opportunity. So my question boils down to this. Let's say we have a desired future path that we are following. Can we have an internship that is not in that path, but just for the sake of learning, go into that internship and then probably for a space of 6 months?
That's a really good question, and I really love that brought up that question. I think it's a personal decision. When I started at first, like you should know your goals, you should know your intention. If, for instance, your goal is to be a software engineer, right? And as you spoke with people, you want to be able to talk to lots of people who uh, lots of your customers. You want to have that ability to talk to your customers. And you're like, okay, I want to have that ability to talk to my customers. Maybe software engineering may not be the path that I should go right now. Let me go take an internship as a marketing sales representative or as a product manager that can learn out that skill to talk to people. Of course, go for it. The thing is that you don't. It's not about path. But what is more important to you? You you can even make your own path. Like I feel the most effective employees are the ones who define their job responsibility or define their career path. As of 50 years ago, program manager wasn't a path, or program manager wasn't a career path. As of 50 years ago, there was nothing like project managers. As of 20 years ago, there was nothing like data scientists. Are you getting it? So it was somebody who defined this part and actually be what the pace setter in that. So you shouldn't be restricted to a traditional path in as much as you know what you want. It's a personal decision to kind of learn those skills and go for it.
Thank you very much, Michael. My question was really answered. I really grateful. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's awesome. We have Joseph here in the chat box. He said, taking Nigeria as a case study, it is very difficult to secure an internship. Please, what should one do? Will you love to take that, or I should?
Oh, okay, you can. I think I will add on.
Okay, great. Currently, myself, over the last 1 year, I had difficulties in the sense I thought getting internship wasn't possible. Sincerely, frankly speaking, why? When I was under the internship letter, which every school in Nigeria did, I was very, very uncertain. But this is what I did. I spent over 100 hours in a month applying for a job. I don't have a skill. And company today, they won't take one